And we're back. Hey, everybody. This video is going to be a basketball video with a basketball focus for all my basketball people out there. So a couple things before we get started on this one. I'm using some drills that are attributed to a man by the name of Pistol Pete Maravich. So these drills are called the Maravich drills. They're really good for ball handling. He is known as one of the greatest ball handlers of all time. Just a little bit more about him. You can see him there doing a nice jelly layup in the photo there. But a couple things before we get going, just about Pistol Pete. One of my favorite players of all time. He died fairly young. And his career was cut short. He kind of blew out his knee once he got to the NBA, but he really did revolutionize the game of basketball. Before Pistol Pete, most people were not doing behind the back passes, going between their legs, doing no look passes, things like that were all thanks to Pistol Pete and his just unique way of playing the game. At the time, he got a lot of pushback. People didn't like him and called him a showboater and things like that because of the way that he was pretty flashy on the court. He is in the NBA Hall of Fame. He was a scoring champion in the NBA from 1976 to 1977 during that season. 4 times he was named to the All-NBA team. He played for the Hawks, the Jazz, and the Celtics, which is where he ended his career. The big chunk of the legend of Pistol Pete comes from his time in college at LSU, Louisiana State University. NCAA all-time career scoring leader with 3,667 points over 83 games. That's only 3 seasons, and he racked up that number of points. That record will never be broken. You can rest assured. Even in 4 years, people don't even come close to what Maravich did in 3 years at LSU. He averaged per game 44.2 points over the course of those 3 years. The big year was 1969 and 70, where he put up 44.5 points per game. So the one thing that that gets thrown out there when they're talking about Pete Maravich is that there was no three-point line when he was playing, and he did like to shoot it from long range and rub it in your face. In 1986 and 87, the NCAA adopts the three-point line. From that point on, the high scorer in NCAA history is Bo Kimball with 35.3 points per game. The coach at LSU, while Maravich was there, it was his dad, Press Maravich, but the coach after Maravich's left LSU went back and tracked every single shot that Maravich took over his career to see whether or not that would increase his scoring total. And according to his numbers, 57 points per game is what Pete Maravich would have averaged if that's using the 19 feet 9 inches college three-point line. That has been moved back just slightly since then, but 57 points per game. Now, it definitely would not be touched had there been a three-point line. Just to give you a little bit of background about the man himself, that's Pete Maravich in a nutshell. You can see the nice photo there with his signature floppy socks that he's wearing. That was during his time at LSU. You can see he was just an amazing, amazing player. But we're going to go through these Maravich drills today. The emphasis when we're doing the Maravich drills really is going to be on a couple things there. First, you want to have an athletic stance, okay, and dribble with your fingertips. So what do we mean by an athletic stance? Okay, if I'm in an athletic stance, my knees are bent, my butt is out, I'm ready to go in any direction, okay? As if I was playing basketball. Nobody plays basketball standing straight up and down. That would be absurd. So you can see there the list of drills that we do for the Maravich series. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the screen so that you can see what it looks like when you're doing the Maravich drills in person. And keep in mind, I'm not trying to be an expert on this by any means or stretch of the imagination. See if I gotta keep going. All right, so the first one is just tipping. So I'm gonna tip the ball back and forth. The more I can just use my fingertips when I'm tipping, the better it's going to be. Okay, as you get more comfortable with this one, you can start to do things like close your eyes and continue tipping. It's really gonna give you a good feel for the ball. I gotta be careful doing that because I'll hit the computer and then the school will be really, really mad at me. So tipping here, like I said, you can start closing your eyes, look away while you're doing it. You can move the ball up or down and continue tipping. A lot of these are good to do with a timer. So if you have a stopwatch or you can use your phone to just time yourself maybe about 30 seconds per exercise. And then the other thing you can do as you start to get better at them, you can compete against yourself. So some of these, and we'll talk about it, you can try to get as many as you can under in that 30 seconds. Oh, you're late to class again. You better get there. If you were Pete Maravich, it'd be because you're out dribbling the ball. But what was I saying? Oh, so when you're timing these things, you can keep track of your scores, right? So I'll show you on one that we got coming up, kind of how that would look as you do it. So next one, this one, again, this one kind of gives you a good feel for the ball. It's just pinching. It's kind of like the tipping, but now we're pinching the ball. And if you have big hands and you're trying to, especially those of you trying to dunk, we got a few of those guys here. This is gonna help you kind of just get a grip on that ball as you start to play. So this is a good one to do before you're about to play or about to practice, just pinching that ball, kind of the same way that we were doing our tips, okay? And the same thing we can do up overhead, bring it down low, and keep pinching, 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 and it's gonna help you kind of get a good grip on the basketball. The next one is slaps. And again, this is a good one to do before you start your practice or your games or things like that, and we're just slapping the ball. Really good at, again, getting a good feel for it, slapping it as hard as we can, and really holding it in that other hand. That's a big part of this drill. We tend to focus on the slap when the reality is both hands are working. You're really working to control it with one hand and to slap it with the other hand. And again, about 30 seconds, or you can do a number. You can shoot for 20 slaps on each hand or whatever. Next one. This one is called a pendulum. And it works like this. You just kind of grab the ball here, and we're just going to swing like a pendulum. Okay, we're not dribbling yet. You see, I'm just changing hands, swinging the ball back and forth. Again, we're getting a good feel for the basketball. Okay, so those, I would say, those four right there, tipping, pinching, slaps, and the pendulums are really good to do before you even just play like a pickup game, because especially if you're playing with a ball that's you're not used to, that's going to kind of get you a feel for that ball, get you ready to play, and a little bit more familiar with the basketball that you're going to be using. And really good to do before practice, a game, a scrimmage, or whatever you might be doing, but also can help just on a daily basis, just getting a better feel for the basketball. Next one. This is one that it'd be good to use the timer for. So I'm gonna go for about 30 seconds on this one. We're just going around the waist on this one. So it's here, or just like this. Now you want to go as fast as you can. I'm not going to go too fast because, again, if I hit that computer, I'm in big trouble. Going around the waist, going around the waist. Halfway there. Now, I forgot that I was supposed to be counting. So you can go for 30 seconds, and if you count how many laps you take around your waist, boom, 30 seconds, then you can write that score down, and then the next time you do it, you're gonna go faster. Okay, go for about 30 seconds going in one direction, and then change direction. So you're going, 30 seconds hits, go the other way. Woo, computer almost got it. The other one you can do with this is go up and around the head. Okay, notice that I'm changing hands up there. Okay, without looking at it, I'm changing hands behind my head. Okay, it's not this weird thing that people like to do. Okay, it's not this. I want to make a big circle around my head. And then the other one, and again, about 30 seconds at each level, going in each direction, is around the knees. Okay, we're here, going around the knees. Notice that I'm not popping back up and forth. You don't want to be like a jack-in-the-box when you're doing this one, doing this. That's silly. Don't do that. Okay, so there's 3 there, 3 in 1, around the waist, around the head, around the legs, and then you can do all 3 at once. Okay, if you're doing it with somebody else, and they can kind of, it'd be like a Simon Says type of thing, where they say, oh, waist, head, knees, waist, head. Lots of fun, lots of fun. All right, next one, ball wraps. Okay, so this is similar. We're doing laps around. Now we're going to do it around our leg. So step out with one leg, you bend at the waist, get here. Okay, same thing, about 30 seconds in one direction, change directions, go the other way. I think this video is getting a little long, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Get the other leg, same thing, around the leg, do it without looking, bending at the waist, keeping the same bend in the knees. Somebody's making weird noises over there. We're going to ignore them. Okay, so those are ball wraps. And again, you have 4 there within the one exercise. Going one way around the right leg, change directions around the right leg, switch legs. Big thing there, really bending at the waist. Okay, when you're working on your crossover, you want to bend at the waist. Okay, my knees are bent. Okay, don't get it twisted. My knees are bent as I'm crossing over, but I want to bend at the waist so that I'm pushing to the other direction that I'm crossing over to. Okay. Next one is a figure 8 without dribbling. Okay, so the figure 8 without dribbling just looks like this. And again, we have 2 within 1. Here, athletic stance, bending at the waist. Go for about 30 seconds, and then change direction. Boom. Come back. Okay. You can see there, I made a couple mistakes. You should make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes when you're doing these, you're probably not trying hard enough. You need to go pick up the pace a little bit. Don't look at the ball. Challenge yourself. Make it harder rather than playing it safe, because you're not going to get better. If you're not making mistakes, you will not improve. Okay, push your limits. Try to go faster than you did before. This one's really pulling on my ears here. Figure 8, no dribble, okay? And you can see, like, you make mistakes, that should happen. And you don't want to throw it into the TV when you make your mistakes. So make sure you're doing this either outside or in the garage or in a space that's not, full of electronics or things like that. Next one is front to back, okay? I'll give you a couple of variations if you can't do this one right away. So again, we're in our athletic stance. We start here, boom, boom, boom. Okay, if that's too hard for you, let it bounce, let it bounce, let it bounce, and then pick it up. Again, improving that hand-eye coordination, working in that athletic stance all the time, because you don't play basketball standing straight up and down. You got to be low. Next one is the dribble on one leg. Okay, we did front to back, so now it's one leg dribble. So again, just like we did on our wraps, dribbling on our leg. You can change hands. Keep it low. Okay, as you get more comfortable, just do it one hand. Okay, change feet, do the same thing. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I don't need to practice dribbling a basketball. I'm not trying out for a team or anything like that. But you definitely should, especially while we are in these quarantine, smoke outside situations. There's a chance for you to improve. Think about what the other guy might be doing and then outwork them. Okay? If you did this for 10, 15 minutes every day, you would be sitting pretty. Next one is a figure eight with a dribble with one hand, also with two hands. So again, we're in our athletic stance. All the way back. Okay? Dribbling now, our figure eight. Going one direction, go about 30 seconds, then change direction, go the other way. Then you're going to try to do it with just one hand. Take your time at first, you don't need to do it. You don't need to be an expert right out of the gate. Take your time. Ideally, we want to be using our fingertips, keeping that dribble low. But at first, do your best. Okay, that's the best we can do is the best we can do. The last one is a spider, and I know I'm going to mess this up. But the way it works is front, front, back, back. Okay, so I'm sure I'm not going to be able to do it, but I'll give it a shot. Just because that's why we're here. Okay, so we bounce it, front, front, back, back, front, front. You'll work your way up to it. Google spider drill. I'll put a link to some Pete Maravich highlights in the description. And I can even put a link to Pete Maravich doing the drills as well. That probably is going to be more impressive than your old Coach Reynolds doing the drills. Oh, there is one more, and maybe this will create a viral video, and we'll actually start getting some serious subscribers. I don't know what to call this, but it might be called the emergency room. You start here. Of course, I did it on the first try, right into my bum. It's really not that impressive when you can't do it. Well, I made it without smashing myself too bad. Like I said, Pistol Pete Maravich video link in the description. And as usual, make it a great day, Knights. Take care of yourself and those around you. Be nice. Wash your hands. We'll go wash mine right now. And don't forget to be awesome.